Mr. Speaker, I yield back my remaining time, but first I've got to talk about one other thing, and that is another challenge that we face. And that challenge is about climate change. This is real, folks. This is not something that a bunch of scientists have dreamed up. This is a very, very real issue for this world. Many of the policies we talked about here can directly go to the issue of climate change. I represent 200 miles of the Sacramento River Valley. From the very beginning of the Sacramento River at the beginning of San Francisco Bay, 200 miles up, past the city of Sacramento, past the cities of Yuba City, Marysville, all the way to Chico. An area that is one of the most flood-prone areas in America. Climate change is going to increase rainfall. Maybe not the total rainfall throughout the year, but the incidence of heavy, extraordinary downpours will increase. Not too many people want to ascribe the recent typhoon in Philippines as a climate change issue, but there's ever increasing evidence that extreme storms are a result of climate change. And it figures: more heat, more moisture, more storms, more precipitation. It's all there. So as we go forward dealing with these issues of economic development, of infrastructure, we need to keep in mind the issue of climate change and its immediate effect. Droughts in some areas where there weren't droughts before, floods in other areas where there's need to put in the infrastructure. In the case of my district, the infrastructure of levees. My constituents are at risk. My constituents need the federal government to pass a Water Resource Development Act that provides the foundation and the authorization for levee improvements, and they need the appropriations. They need the money. It's our task to keep America safe, whether that's from some military threat from somewhere in the world or from some natural threat. For example, extreme storms, extreme flooding, making sure the infrastructure, the levees, and the protections for our citizens are in place. I want us to deal with that. And as we put together the Water Resource Development Act, where I have the privilege of being on the conference committee, we intend to do our best to make sure that the authorization for those projects necessary for water development as well as flood protection are in place. And then we must go about the task of finding a way to pay for it. Mr. Blumenauer is introducing a bill tomorrow to find a way to pay for the transportation systems. We need to do the same for the water infrastructure systems. We cannot neglect this task. It's our job. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.